So you have love languages, and when people take that love language test, there are like you have a number one, like what's that number one love language? And people have a tendency, if the number one is affirmation, then they only do affirmation. But again, my philosophy is just because affirmation is number one and touch may be number five, don't mean you don't want to do touch. In other words, I can affirm with words and a touch at the same time.
Yes.
So again, listen, you all, we're trying to give you all practical things to help. If you really want this marriage, then don't say it. I ain't doing it. Then that means you're not willing to put warm a towel about warming no towel. Like you're not willing. We're trying to make sure you do everything possible to do your part to restore the marriage. And this is what you're asking. So these are questions that we're getting, that we're like, this is what's being asked. So do everything. But what if it doesn't work? Man, you can leave the marriage knowing I did everything I was supposed to do.
Hello, family and friends. I am really excited to present to you my very first booklet called The Disciples' Prayer. I know what it's like to be asked to pray and not really know how to. And so I wanted to write a booklet to help encourage you to get into prayer. God wants to hear your voice. He created you to have relationship with you, and he desires for you to get to know him through prayer. When you receive your booklet and journal, take a picture, tag me in it at his wife, her husband 97 on Instagram. I want to personally thank you and connect with you and to see how you are coming along in your prayer life. Take a picture, tag me in it at his wife, her husband 97 on Instagram so that I can personally thank you and connect with you. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
Welcome to His Wife, Her Husband.
Well, we help build and sustain marriages from a biblical perspective.
What the Bible said. I am SHEMIKA, his wife.
And I am Patrick, her husband. And today's topic is how do you restore broken marriages?
How can you mend a broken heart? It can be.
Yeah, it can be. So that's what we're gonna attempt to give you our advice of what we believe, what can happen, what you personally can do to help mend the marriage that has been broken. I think I'll probably say this. This is one of those things where it really does take two.
It takes two,
So,
Patrick.
what's that?
It takes two, baby.
Right.
Guess
So-
what? Me and you. I love music. Okay.
So
I love music.
it takes two. So one of the things is that you can't do anything about the other person. So if you want to know what's your part, then every person, it's the same. Well, they have their part, you have your part, but in general, you both have the same thing to do. But let's just say there's a time where you're doing the work, like you really want the marriage to work, you really want to restore the marriage, you really want to mend this broken marriage or save this drowning marriage, then there's a part that you do. I think we're going to kind of go over some of those things that you can do individually. Understanding though, there's nothing you can do about the person in the marriage, like whether they do it or not. It's what can you do? And so the prayer becomes, we're hopeful that you do what Corinthians is saying. Like you're going to bring holiness to the marriage. So even in context, what's funny? What are you laughing at? Did you why laughing?
You have something to me.
Yeah. So
Let me.
it's you bring holiness to the marriage. So by doing what the Bible says, your chances of mending the marriage becomes greater. And so you bring hope into the marriage, and the hope is that when you do what you're supposed to do, and we'll go over some of those things. When you do what you're supposed to do, you give the marriage a better chance of reconciliation.
Yeah, I do want to kind of set the stage too. So the word is restore,
Mm-hmm.
restoring, right? And so I think about an actual store, and an actual store that you visit. Let's take a grocery store. You have shelves and you have products that's on the shelf. And in
That's
order,
actually a good point.
thank you.
I think I know where you're going. That's actually good.
And in order for a grocery store to be successful, you need certain products for the consumer to be able to purchase or to experience, to benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the shoppers come in and they make their purchases, which is what the grocery store is in business for, they also have to make sure that they have enough products to restock the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a restoring, there is an emptying, there is a time where the shelf becomes bare or empty, but then there is a time of restocking, which is
Mm-hmm.
another word for restoring, that has to take place so that it'll always be sufficiency. And so I believe that it's the same way when it comes in a marriage, that there are things that may be in the beginning more so. This is like the honeymoon and the ooh, I'm in love phase,
Mm-hmm.
where all needs and wants are met.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, and again, Patrick and I are sharing in generalized marriages.
That's
We
good.
do know that there are um, some customizing or exclusivity to all of our relationships, but broadly speaking or generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
marriages is about two individuals bringing their 100s to the table to make a even more solid whole. And so, with that being said, in the beginning phase is when it's really like it's romance, the sparks are flying, all needs and wants
Once.
are met, and you don't see any scarcity
Mm-hmm.
or adversity in sight. However, life happens.
Right.
And one of the things that I always share with married couples and individuals is that we live in a fallen, fractured world. That means that things is going to fall apart or fall out, like suffering comes with life, like hardships
Hmm.
come with life. And so when it comes to marriages being restored, that means that life maybe take a hit. Maybe you took a hit in your finances. Maybe you took a hit in your intimacy. Maybe you took a hit in your friendship, or you may have taken or experienced some disappointments and some disadvantages. But the fact that you have experienced some good, and I am leaning toward the understanding that there is some good because
Mm-hmm.
you are married,
Right.
that means that some things can be put back on the shelf.
I
And
like that.
and let's just say you have had a smaller grocery store. Like you may not have had a grocery store, maybe you just had a convenience store, right?
Gotcha.
And but you want to add on, you want to upgrade. That's okay. That means that you can say, well, we're going to discontinue that item. We found that has not been a success. That was a waste. And so we're going to add, put some upgrades in our marriage. And so I think that that's what restoring means. So you have to take a step back, reevaluate, and see what is still working in the marriage, what does not work in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And if it has been an offense, if you realize that you have brought more, some experience, some moments of bruising, some moments of hurting, like make those corrections, ask for forgiveness, and ask for feedback on how you can be or a better wife or how you can be a better husband
Mm-hmm.
to your spouse.
That's so good. I don't really have anything else to say after that. We could shut it down for that. So I do want to reiterate two things. The main point, but I want to reiterate something she said. She only said it once. That you both are bringing 100% to the marriage. So I know the song is 50-50 love. That's actually incomplete. Because if
I
you're
love
bringing 50
music.
and I'm bringing 50 and you divide that by two, that's 50. That's a
You still
last
left
time I heard, that's a failing grade.
now.
So if we both bring 100% to this restoration, to this
Mm-hmm.
restoring,
Mm-hmm.
your chances of success are greater because I'm giving everything I have to make this marriage work. So, which is why I was saying, if I'm giving 100 and the spouse is giving zero, you still got a failing grade. And so,
In terms of the
of
relationship, now
relationship,
we'll say that the person that's giving 100, they giving their best
yeah,
and they leaving it all out. And so that's the thing that you have to remember. Like at the end of the day, you are responsible to bring your best every day to your spouse and
yeah.
to the marriage,
I think that's
and
what.
it'll help.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, and it'll help. It'll help keep the shelf stocked, right?
That's
So
that's dope. That's a dope analogy. I'm still in that. I'm still in that in the barbershop. I don't know.
If I
I'm
got
gonna
it, you
find
got it.
I'm gonna find a way. You got it. I'm gonna find a way to bring up marriage in the barbershop just so I can make that statement.
Oh wow.
I'm taking credit for it. Just
Yeah,
for
my credit, your credit. We got good
no
credit.
no. It's
No,
my
it's
credit
your
all by
credit.
myself.
Yeah, you can have it. But yeah, but just know. Oh, and so we also mentioned about us bringing or giving you suggestions or insights from a biblical perspective.
Hmm.
And so when it comes to restocking the shelf, guess what? There is no stocking if there is no source. Like you have to have where are you getting your joy from? And so I would like to invite you, if you don't know the Lord, to come to know him,
Right.
because guess what? There is no love in your marriage. There is no love in
True
your
love.
life. There is none if there is no Jesus. There is none. There
Right.
is no, like, you need Christ because he is the author of love. And when you have a supplier, because remember, every grocery chain has a supplier.
Yeah.
It's someone that they do business with in
Hmm.
order to be able to make sure that there is sufficiency for that consumer, that customer. Guess what? It's no different in life. There is nothing in life that you can experience true results
Hmm.
without there being a supplier. And the Lord is a good supplier. He is full of abundance. There is always rich supply of patience, of love, of kindness. I'm telling you, once you spend time with him, you cannot do anything but be patient with your spouse. Why? Because you know you the biggest headache. And guess what? If the Lord can be so patient and kind with you,
Right.
you can't do nothing but reciprocate that and give it to another person, as well as you be patient with yourself. It's like, give me time to restock the shelf. Give
Hmm.
me time enough to be able to give back to you, and that's where that mutual respect come in. Before you finish,
No, no, no.
wait, please. Okay, go.
Now go ahead.
And so
So what I was. Now go ahead.
But for real, I think that one of the other things, another major component to restoration.
Okay, hold on before you go. You leaving the point. I don't want you to leave that point. Remember, write it down. Write it down. So we were talking to a person, and we were talking about being selfish, and so I think what's was you about to go there?
Go on. No, go, go, no. It's gonna go together. Please go.
So what she said was so great that getting with the getting with the supplier, getting with your Lord and Savior, taking that time away or setting that time aside, that time of solidarity to be with him is going to help you do everything you need that you need to do to make sure that the marriage is restored. And it's gonna now again. I don't know what the outcome would be. Our job is, or what we're trying to do, is provide you with as much information and wisdom and guidance to give you the best chance. Now, again, our channel is not about drama. It's about solutions for problems that married couples have. So, again, going back to what she said, getting with the supplier and allowing him, spending it a long time, like however you need to get where you can be selfish enough, and that sounds bad, but be selfish enough so I can be selfless, getting that time with him and spending as much time as you can with him so you can begin to pour into your spouse because we talk as if it's going to be easy. It may be the toughest thing you ever done restoring or trying to restore your marriage. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the part where you have to count up the cost, right? And what I mean by that is when restoration or there's a restoring that's happening, you have to remember that in order for you to properly restore, you have to be strengthened and strong enough to
Yeah.
do that. It takes work restocking and resupplying that
Yeah.
shelf. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes passion. It
Hmm.
takes love.
You may have to work
I'm
overtime.
not, yes, sir.
Yeah.
You may have to wait till the store is closed and the consumers are gone where there are
So
no
what would that be
distractions
in marriage? Waiting for the
uh,
store
to
to
close.
close.
So that,
What is that in terms of spouse? Now, I had an idea, but what do you think?
well, I mean, when you just mentioned it, there would be like, if you have children, that's when the children are down.
Hmm.
There are no distractions, like no household chores. Like, it's just a time for you to invest in one another where there's
Yeah.
conversation. It may be, you all may need to sit in the car in the garage or under the carport, depending on where you live, or
Right.
in the
That's true.
parking space,
Right.
and you just invest in each other. Like, just take time out to say, how was your day? Is
Hmm.
there anything that I can do to help make your life better? I realize that you've been going through some tough times, maybe on a job, or maybe you may be running into frustration because you have adolescent children and
Hmm.
they just going through. They got you at your wits' end. Look, Patrick and I have been in this thing for 25 years. We in a plus now, and so we get it. We get it that life happens. But if you don't steal away, like if you don't push away from all of the responsibilities that they are legitimate responsibilities,
Right.
if you don't push away from those responsibilities, you'll lose that why, that spark. Like, you have to keeping those sparks flying.
And pushing
Uh-huh.
away, you're not saying neglect. It's just
That's taken care of to
right.
the best of our ability, meaning
Hmm.
that the children are fed, they've been cleansed, they down for bed, and you just catch a 30-minute sitcom. It may not be a 2-hour movie.
Right.
It may be just, a devotional time. Like, you find out what it is that it would take just for you to spend time with one another.
So your spouse, the spouse is trouble. Like the spouse is hell bent on making marriage tough.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking from in terms of downtime or when the store is closing is like when you did when we were in the beginning of our marriage, you would wait till I was asleep to really get with God. You know what I'm saying? And so it may be because sometimes you have
Oh,
spouses
you have to
that
make
you're
that
married.
time.
Maybe you're married to a non-believer,
A difficult spot.
and
Come on,
you're
let's make it plain.
or you're married to a
Difficult.
carnal Christian.
And
You
that
know
was
what I'm
a
saying?
difficult, yeah.
And you may have to wait till they go to sleep so you can get with God to help you. Like, God, I don't know what to do with this thing, this guy, this woman. I need your help. Um, I want out, uh, but I don't want to give up yet. So God, help me. Like that may be the store closing time when they're asleep, or if they're if they're the spouse that loves going out, when they go out and you're still at the house and you kind of set the stage or restock, or because sometimes you dealing with that. That's such a dope analogy. Sometimes you have to reorganize the store
Yeah,
to
set the atmosphere.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting. And after this, I think that our time will be spent.
No,
But
we got plenty of time.
okay, but when I think about like us being in business for ourselves, we are self-employed entrepreneurs, and so when you think about the atmosphere that we set, I see you admiring me. Ooh. I love it. It makes me blush again.
So funny.
But when I think about, we have to reset each day to create the atmosphere for the next set of clients.
Hmm.
Each time we rotating each day, each week, and it accumulates, and we build in rapport and relationship
Yeah,
with our clients that they come to expect certain expectations,
that's true.
and that's how it is in our homes. Like, don't Do not, if you're at a place where you are experiencing frustration and tension, step back, reassess, regain strength. This is where I'm saying, this is where you want to go to the Lord. This is what Patrick is saying. Like, you may have to burn a little midnight oil just for yourself, so that you can better serve and you can start to build your heart vessel up, like your love vessel up, your love cup up, so that it will be an overflow. That it's like, I never get tired of you. Like, I realize that you may be in a very hard place and it's making you a difficult person, but I remember that you are a person that loves me, and I'm not going to give up on you. And when I'm tired, I have a place to run to. And so I am saying, you want to run to the Lord in prayer,
Right.
but you also may need somebody in the natural that you can run to, just to get your mind and your emotions back in the game, because they may be frazzled and they may be at wit's ends. Like, that is a real legitimate thing.
And this is where I would probably stick in marriage counseling. Uh, I think I said on another video, I'm a proponent that if a married couple is getting counseling, then it should be a male and a female counselor. You know what I'm saying? Because the thought process of men are
Sometimes
different,
varies.
sometimes are different from the thought process of women. So if it's a
It's a
married
real
couple,
thing.
if
I don't
it's a
care what
married
anybody say.
couple,
Yes.
if it's a married couple in counseling with just the man, there's a male perspective that
It's
he goes
only
into.
one side.
If it's just
Sorry.
a marriage counseling with just a woman, then she's coming from a woman perspective. But when you have a husband and wife who's going for counseling, it should be a husband and wife counseling that particular couple. That's just
Philosophy,
my thought
and that
process
is,
about
and
it.
that's
Yeah.
good, because of course, if you getting it from one side, you getting one side of the dynamic.
That's correct.
And so the truth of the matter is, there is scientific proof that men and women are wired different. Like, we have different hormonal levels and all kind of stuff, the complexities that come, that makes us the individual us. And so you do want to make sure that they are that it is balanced, and that way both perspectives are seen, and you can receive the proper encouragement and insight
Right.
on how to build and keep your marriage strong.
Right. So let's recap on a couple of things before we move on to try to give them some specifics. Um, Go in, number one, make sure you are uh, building your personal relationship with Christ, so you can get insight, on what to do. There's a text that says, husbands, if you don't deal with your wife with understanding, your prayers won't be heard. And we were in the barbershop saying, we don't understand women. So that's why you get with God, because God does
He
understand
fixed
them.
it.
He
Pause.
know it.
He
So,
fixed it where you
no,
had to come
that's
to
my time.
him. Come on,
So,
Patrick. Listen, God fixed it where husbands had to come,
right.
because he gave y'all women.
Right.
You know what I
And,
mean?
and so we don't understand. So the best thing to do is go to him, your supplier, on what to do. Second thing is,
Wait, but
second thing
Patrick
is
talking.
make sure. Did y'all just hear she just talked for 15 minutes straight. She did this last video. So get with the supplier. That's number one. Number two, make sure you are willing to put 100% effort into restoring the marriage. You can't do anything about them. So your job is, the real percentage is 100-0. So if I'm, what's the guy what's his name? One of your mentors, the guy that used to mentor you all the time. Uh, YouTube.
Oh, Darren Hardy.
Darren Hardy. So he
Compound effect.
Compound effect. He said,
Good book.
in marriage, it's 100-0. I'm giving 100% effort, expecting 0 from them. Do I want it? Yes. If they don't, that's not my job. My job is to make sure I give 100%. But that goes into where I was gonna go. So that's 2, giving 100%. 3, what are the things that need to be restocked or restored in the marriage from your side?
Yeah.
Don't worry about their side. Your side. Go ahead.
Do you have to kiss more? Do
Mm-hmm.
you have to be more intimate? Do you need to have more date nights? Do you need to have more gestures of kindness? Like maybe when one of the spouses are getting out the shower, they get in the shower, have their towel warmed up warming up in the dryer. Like
Both male and female. I'm not
do
talking
the
about just women. Yeah.
yes, correct. Like do those acts of kindness to help restock what is has been depleted.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, and can I say that? Let's say that maybe you exhausted and you don't want to get up and put the towel in the dryer. It happens. But something as simple as a touch, a holding of the hand, a looking in the eyes, you don't have to have no smackdown passionate kiss, but just a peck. Just I mean, but make sure that they feel that intentionality.
Right.
In the words of the prophet Bobby Womack, I love it. In the words of the prophet woman. Look, sometimes we be sleeping on this now. I'm telling y'all, like I know anybody that knows me, know I love me some Jesus, and I also enjoy music.
Right.
But there are some good messages and nuggets that come
Some of
from
those
the old school songs.
those are
What did he say?
good.
He said you
Good of
gotta.
the oldest.
Oh, he said you
Do
gotta
the
make it
things
feel.
to keep a smile on
Do
her
the
face.
things to kiss a smile on her
Yeah.
face. Say the things to make her feel better every day.
Yeah.
You got to stay on your P's and Q's because that woman you could easily lose. Now, he is a man saying that about a woman,
Right.
but it's the same way when it comes to the man. I don't take for granted that I could lose Patrick due to my negligence. You don't want to do that.
Right.
You want to make sure that I make sure. I ain't gonna say you do because I do this. I do him. That's my husband. I do the things to keep a smile on his face.
Hmm.
I do the things to make him feel better every day. I make sure I stay on my P's and my Q's. Why? That little loop, it makes a difference. That little curve makes a difference. Amen. It's the curves.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's good. So you have love languages, and when people take that love language test, there are like you have a number one. Like what's that number one love language? And people have a tendency if the number one is affirmation, then they only do affirmation. But again, my philosophy is just because affirmation is number one and touch may be number five, don't mean you don't want to do touch. In other words, I can affirm with words and a touch at the same time.
Yes.
So again, listen, you all, we're trying to give you all practical things to help. If you really want this marriage, then don't say it. I ain't doing it. Then that means you're not
Doing
willing
too
to put.
much.
You're not willing to put warm a towel. About warming no towel. Like you're not willing. We're trying to make sure you do everything possible to do your part to restore the marriage. And this is what you're asking. So these are questions that we're getting, and we're like, this is what is being asked. So do everything. But what if it doesn't work? Man, you can leave the marriage knowing I did everything I was supposed to do. In that case, you will leave not feeling bad because, hey, I did it. And
I have
you
nothing
feel
left.
comfort knowing, hey, I poured everything. I gave 100%. I expected nothing back, and I did everything I was supposed to do. Boom, 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 boom. It just didn't
It
work
wasn't
because
meant
we
to be.
can't.
Yeah.
God doesn't force people to accept Christ and accept His love, and we can't do the same thing. But now He poured everything out. That's what I'm talking about.
That's good, Pat.
And so we have to do the same thing. So take the 5 love language tests. See what those are. Is there a link? If I can find the link, I will put a link below and see if you can click on the link and take the 5 love language test and find out what's number one down to what's number five, and work it. Or I can say it this way. This is just me. Whatever that number one is, always do number one and pair it with 2 through 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one with 2, one with 3, one with 4, one with 5. Like always do one, but make sure it's paired with the other love languages that's out there.
Yeah, and when you just mentioned about the 5 love language, something came to my mind about how we are natural people and we have 5 senses.
Mm-hmm.
We have the taste, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. I think that's it. Yep.
But you
Uh,
look at it. We got
Well,
it.
you got okay. So
Yeah.
you had those five, and so you may be more dominant in another one. Like with the smell, you may be more dominant than with the sight. You maybe not so strong, but that doesn't mean that you don't exercise or use all five, even
Right.
though you may be
That's
stronger in
good.
another. So that would be equivalent to the five love languages. Like this is all. These are all the proponents of a human relationship building. So yeah, you want to. We all made for touch. We all made for affirmation. We need to hear that. We need to feel. We need to receive gifts. We need to receive these things. We
Right.
need to give. We need to have quality time, like just us. And I know Patrick mentioned about providing a link, but definitely you can get the book, and it'll be a well worth investment. That way you're not just taking an assessment, but you also seeing and receiving maybe some suggestions from Mr. Gary about what
Right.
all comes with it. So take the time to invest. I'm sorry. Take the time to invest in the quality of your marriage. And then once you do restore, know that it's not just restore and it's picture perfect. No, it's going to be some things that you're going to have to take, set your mind to responsibility. Again, that word re means again. Like it is you are having to show up each and every day to do the things to keep a smile on each other's face.
So while we are talking, slow down, Patrick. I keep hearing someone. I feel like someone is saying, "Okay, but what do I do? Like, what are the things that I do?" And I think the thing is, for each marriage, it's different. You know,
Again, we giving
what
them.
right. But here's what I will say. Here's what I would say to help you figure out what is it that you need to do. Hold on. What is it that you need to do? I would say, and I think did I say this in the last? I think I said this in the last video. I don't mind repeating myself if I think I need you to get it. What is it that you did that you used to do that you're not doing anymore?
It's their restocking.
And they haven't said that they haven't said they don't want you to do that. Or this is why
Life
this is
just
why I'm gonna
happened.
ask for people in the barbershop. What did you do, fellas, before you got the cookie? Like, what were the things you did to get the cookie that you stopped doing? Go
And
back to
women,
that. Go back to that before you got it. Start back doing that and do it with full force,
and
100% effort, to restock or restore or help that drowning marriage.
And you know what? You mentioned something, and I never thought about this, Patrick, until now. But it's really good. It's gonna be kind of goofy and quirky, but it's true. And women, what did you do that your cookie could be received? You was not you were not difficult,
Yeah.
amen. Because you wanted him
That
to
chewy cookie. No.
my goodness,
Sorry.
you wanted him to pursue that cookie. So you made yourself attractive. You made yourself approachable. You
Right.
made yourself gentle and not so hostile. Like, don't be porcupine and don't look. Come on now.
That's funny you say it because when my wife, she would say, why you not, why you not on, why you not? I'm like, you're porcupine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so prickly, I can't get close to you. You know what I'm saying? So don't.
Can't get next to you, baby. I can't get next to you. I've been trying, but I can't get next to you. He like,
He said, I tried to call you, but I ain't had your phone number.
I phone number. You didn't change the number. You keep that.
You never had it in the first place.
Well, in this case, I'm talking about because we married. But yeah, anyway. Now, the other thing that Patrick mentioned.
Because she changed her ways, so he changed her phone number.
Hey, I can't reach you.
I got here. I was late again.
Look, baby.
I was late.
Listen.
But I came.
And listen. Yes, you did. Amen.
My invitation.
Okay, I do have a suggestion too. It's interesting that you said that you was thinking somebody was saying, but what do I do? So I do want to go from top to bottom. So there's spirit to soul, and the soul involves your emotions, your mental, and all of that, and then go down to the physical. So in the book of James, it states, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask
Right.
So again, Patrick and I are sharing a broad view about marriage, like idealistically, but when it comes to your specific spouse has a specific personality
Mm-hmm.
that God knows who they are and how He created them.
Right.
And this is that dealing with understanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a surrendering and submitting to God. Lord, this is the spouse that I have vowed to spend the rest of my days with, to walk out this life with. Would you give me wisdom on how to live with him or her with understanding?
Right.
How can I help make this journey of life better? Because life is difficult and I don't want to be the one that's adding more difficulties to it.
Right.
Ask God specifically for that. And then the next thing would be, you got the wisdom, ask God for wisdom. Now you want insight and understanding. This is the part where it's like, okay, I know how I can be. I know the times where life get difficult for me. I want to do to Patrick the way I would want him to do for me. So I want to live with understanding. I want to be able to effectively communicate with him. So you can begin to pray and ask the Lord on how to better be an effective and efficient communicator, like how to use my words. How can I help him to feel that I love him? And by the same token, he asks God on how he can make me feel that he loves. So there are things like you keeping your love lit, your love on fire, that passion, that again you do those acts of kindness. It's about an attitude. So like in your mind, you want to set your mind. And again, I've been on this mindset thing,
Mm-hmm.
like set your mind toward doing and being a better person. And I did that in the reverse. So you want to set your mind to being and doing that person that God created you to be. And then you show it out or display it in the natural. It
Mm-hmm.
is Patrick taking me to get one of my favorites, which is a cup of coffee, or it's him, if he don't want to take me, it's him getting up a little earlier to make the cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's me doing the same thing for him. Um, and it could be something as simple again as, you don't always have to spend money, but
Correct.
it is maybe having a hot warm towel ready. It's maybe rubbing each other's feet and back, and
Mm-hmm.
not looking for it to be done back to you.
Right.
It's just, this is what I want to do for you. I want to sit and watch the movie that you want to watch.
Right.
It's not about me. It's not, don't make it about you
Yeah.
all the time.
And I think marriage is high risk, high reward.
Amen.
And it's just worth it. But here's what I want to ask: if you know of anyone, or if you're watching, like, comment below. Let us know what were some of the things that you did. Maybe your marriage was on the rocks, and it was restored. And if you know a couple that have gone through this, send this video to them and ask them to comment, because you know, people are always going on later on and seeing this video, and I think the comments will help them in restoring their marriage. Marriage is still going on, and people are
They
still
still
getting
getting married.
married,
That mean they
and
still needed help.
they're still having trouble in their marriages.
Amen.
So leave us a comment. Let us know what maybe what you've done. Maybe there's some suggestions that you may have. Maybe there's something that we didn't say you felt like we should
Yeah.
have said. Leave those comments below.
What
And
you do to restock your shelf? That's
right,
good
it's
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you do hit the subscription button. Make sure you hit the like, give us a thumbs up, as well as hit the notification bell, so that when we drop new videos, you'll be the first one to get them. Also, we have started a Patreon page. Make sure you join our Patreon page. In February, we will be going live every Tuesday, and you get to be a part of the live stream and ask us questions in general, or ask us questions specifically. There are certain tiers you can join. Depending on which one you join, you can also get a 50% discount on marriage counseling that we do. The retail value of that marriage counseling is $500, and if you join the top tier, you get a 50% discount on that marriage counseling. So we look forward to talking to you guys again. I appreciate you all being a part of His Wife, Her Husband.
Yes.
Love you guys, and I'll see you at the top.
Wishing you the
Take care.
best. Yes.